If you're not currently using YouTube as a real estate agent, you're making one of the biggest mistakes in your career as a realtor in terms of generating leads and attracting clients at scale. I'm going to explain why, but first let me explain 2 simple case studies of what I'm going to show you in this video has done for agents that have joined me at EXP. There's one specific agent that's now 11 months into the business. He's closed 70 deals using these exact strategies as a brand new agent in a brand new market with no ad spend and no prospecting. And there's another agent that joined me and he's now averaging 8 to 10 deals per month, retired his wife from a 6-figure job because they've got so much business coming from their YouTube channel for free with no ad spend and no prospecting, again, entirely using these strategies. So these are proven to work in every single market. I want to show you exactly why this is important, what videos to put out, how to get clients, and certain tips for success so that you know exactly what to do. Because again, once I explain why this is so important, if you don't do this, you're going to regret it. If you don't know who I am, my name is Mike Sherrard. I train thousands of agents every single year how to scale their business using social media, and a lot of agents that have partnered with me at EXP are crushing it using these exact strategies. So I wanted to share a few of them with you. Now, 2 quick things before we get started. If you want to know everything about how to use YouTube, just comment below and I'll give you my free training. And 76% of you guys that watch my videos are not subscribed. So even if you never watch another video of mine in your life, please just smash that subscribe button to give me a bit of love because it helps me immensely. And if you do get any value, just give me a thumbs up. So let's get straight into this and talk about why YouTube, right? So why should you be even caring? A lot of people think, well, lead generation, Google, Facebook, Instagram, but why should you be caring about YouTube? So a couple different things. So it's the number 2 search platform owned by the number 1, which is Google, right? And let me explain why this is so important. I'll show an example here over the screen is that whenever you type in, for example, for me in my field, which is like Facebook ads for real estate agents, TikTok for real estate agents, Instagram for real estate agents, if you type any of those into Google, my videos from YouTube show up for free, outranking people spending tens of thousands of dollars a month on Google pay-per-click for their ads. And more people, just based on consumer behavior, are more likely to watch a video than to read a blog about the same topic. The same thing is happening for the agents that I use at the case studies, is that whenever you search for their market real estate, their videos are showing up and people are a lot more likely to click on that because of consumer behavior, but also it builds immense like, know, and trust factor. Right? That's the goal for any social media platform, is to build the like, know, and trust factor. And the hardest thing for most people is to get to the trust, right? Because people get to like you, when they see a couple photos, they get to know you when they see you consistently, but they only get to trust you when they start to see your true personality. And the best way to do that is through YouTube. Now, there's a couple other really important things about YouTube that I want you to understand. Number 2, 2 billion active monthly users. Number 3, 78% of home sellers say they would rather work with an agent leveraging video than ones that are not for listing their property. So if you want to get more listings, which everybody's saying they want to get more seller leads, this is one of the tickets. And again, even when you look at how the platforms interact, 1 second watched on Facebook or IG is considered 1 view. 30 seconds watched on YouTube is considered 1 view. So just by the nature of the platform, you're getting 30 times the ability to build a connection with somebody whenever they're watching your YouTube videos. And because of the fact that it's so based on SEO or search engine optimization, you have the ability for free to rank number 1 in your market if you follow what I'm going to share with you at the end of this video. So you build a deeper trust with your clients, you can attract clients at scale, and it is evergreen, okay? This is one of the biggest parts here because let me explain. With Facebook ads for lead generation, whenever you stop paying money, you stop generating leads. It's a pay-to-play platform. Same with Google. With Instagram, your posts die after 24 hours, so you have to constantly be posting. With YouTube, because of the fact that it's evergreen with a caveat, so long as you optimize your videos properly, your videos can be ranking for years and attracting clients for years for free. So what happens here is, this is a really important shift to understand, is that most platforms are 1-to-1, which is you post once and you get some engagement, or you spend a certain amount and you get a certain outcome, whereas YouTube is 1-to-many. And that's where it's really important, is understanding the concept of leverage. And that's what YouTube does, is it allows you to create something once and use scale and volume based on its evergreen platform in order to get better results. So now let's look at what should you be posting, because a lot of people are curious about this. So I'm going to break down a couple of examples of what is proven to work in every single market with every single agent every single time, so long as you do what I'm going to share with you at the end of this video. So the first thing is things related to relocation, okay? Especially if you're living in places like Florida or Texas, everybody's leaving California to go there, or just other markets in general. These are gonna be videos like moving to Dallas, 5 things you need to know. Based on SEO, moving to Dallas, a lot of people are going to be searching that if they're looking to move to Dallas. Again, going back up here to the fact that it's owned by Google, if you put out a video about that, your video can rank on Google and YouTube as well. Now, another video related to relocation is things like, 5 things you did not know about Dallas, or anything related to relocation, information people would be looking to move there for. Now, the second aspect is actually living there. So what is or better yet, lifestyle? So these are things like pros and cons of living in Dallas, cost of living in Dallas, or anything related to, again, the lifestyle, what people need to know. Pros and cons of living and cost of living are the 2 best videos because, again, not only are people searching about it, but it gives you a lot of context to explain to people about utility costs, property costs, different types of properties, property taxes, and all the different things people need to know before moving there. So the third thing you want to do is you want to be doing community tours and city tours. I'll kind of group these into one. So the reason why these work so well is because if people are already living in your city and they're looking to relocate to a different community, they're going to be typing in that community. So what happens is, just by the nature of these platforms, is that your community tours have the ability to show up talking about the amenities, the features, the lifestyle, the cost of different properties, the style of homes, things like that. Again, if people are looking to move to your city that are not yet there, what's going to happen is, again, they're looking for a city tour. They want to know where are the amenities, where are the hot spots, what's the transportation like, what's the weather like, what is the average property price, what's property taxes, what are the costs of living, all of these things related to actually seeing your city in person, doing a tour, which works very, very well. Now, let's look at a couple other things that work really well. Property tours. I cannot stress this enough. This is, again, how the agent did 70 deals in 11 months with us, which is just simply doing property tours. Because, again, when people are looking to either, buy there, sell there, property tours are a great way to do 2 things. For buyers, it obviously showcases properties. And the craziest thing is that it attracts more sellers. Because, again, going back up here, looking at this simple stat here, where, again, it says 78% of home sellers would rather work with a realtor using video than ones that aren't. What's happening is that when you start to leverage property tours, other people and sellers are saying, hey, I want my property to be represented like that too. I would like to work with that person. And by doing property tours, it is a running demonstration, live case study portfolio of the quality of work that you do. And if you say you go above and beyond for your clients and you don't do property tours, you're lying to yourself, you're lying to your clients, because you're not doing everything that you could be doing for your clients. So make sure you're doing those. Now, let's look at the last type of videos that are really good. So the last type of videos that are really good are local related videos. Now, these can be broken down into a couple different things, and I'm going to explain. So we'll look at like lifestyle, we'll look at biz. And when you're looking at these, lifestyle is really important because, again, let's use my city, for example, Calgary, Alberta, which is close to Banff. So by doing different videos about what winter is like here, or showcasing the mountains on a drive to Banff, or showcasing what the different ski hills are, like Lake Louise or Sunshine or, Big White or any of these mountains around here, it's really important to showcase the lifestyle of your community based on the different amenities and cool things that people are moving there for. Maybe it's the mountains, maybe it's the ocean, maybe it is, the nightlife or something like that. But anything related to local does really well because, again, people want to know the lifestyle, what it's going to be like to be there. And business is another good one because it allows you to leverage other people's businesses. But I'm going to show you a couple cool things that you should be doing here. You should be looking at doing not just like local business interviews, which does well, but honestly, I think it's a bit overrated because here's what actually does well is when you look at like top 5 restaurants, or when you look at like top 5 or like the top ice cream or pizza. And what's happening here is what you're doing is you're looking at your own behavior and creating videos related to that. And to be honest, there's already blogs written about all this stuff in your city, I guarantee it. So just take those blogs and turn it into a video. The script is there for you. Turn the blog into a video. It's done. It could not get any easier because what's happening here is, when you're doing a local business interview, unless it's a super hot spot, it's not really going to get that many views. But when you look at consumer behavior, a lot of people are looking for the best pizza spots, the best ice cream spots, the best restaurants. And when you can highlight those, it does really well. So it's not only leveraging SEO, but it's leveraging other people's audiences as well. So now let's talk about best practices to actually get clients, because this is where a lot of people go wrong. And I'm going to explain a couple really important things that you need to do here. So number 1 is you need to do a verbal and a visual call to action, right? CTA, which is a call to action. So this is like within the first 30 seconds of your video, like again, if you looked at my video, which clearly you did, is asking people I asked for people to subscribe because that's what I need from people, because clearly 76% of you aren't. But when you're looking at a real estate video for buyers or sellers, what you want to do is it leads into number 2. You want to tell people that, hey, reach out if you want to know more about this local market. My contact information, my email, my phone number, or whatever is in the description below. And you want to tell people, feel free to reach out if you want more information, if you want a market report, if you want to view this property, whatever your video is about. Maybe you've got a relocation guide, a buyer's guide, a seller's guide, a tour guide, any sort of guide, which is the best way to do it, which is why it leads into number 2 and 3, which is having a lead magnet in the description. And you also want to make sure you've got your contact information. So these are the best practices to actually get leads from your channel: is verbal call to action, telling people, hey, if you want more of X, if you want to download X or Y, it's in the description, right? So what's going to happen there is people are going to go to the description, they're going to see the link to your lead magnet, and they're going to see your contact information. So now if they just want to contact you directly, which is why the leads on YouTube is actually so hot, is they're actually contacting you directly. Or the best way to do it is to both include the contact information and a lead magnet, which again is some sort of downloadable guide, put in some sort of funnel. Like I use ClickFunnels. If you're at EXP like we are, you can use KV Core for free. And what this allows you to do is, again, to convert viewers into leads, because a lot of people start getting views, but say, Mike, I'm not getting any clients. And here's the craziest thing about YouTube, and most people don't even think about this, is like most people think you need like 10K plus views to get a really good results on YouTube or something like that. If you get 100 people to watch your video and 2 of them reach out, that's going to be like $10,000, $20,000 a month. Like you don't need a lot of views because of how much we get paid in terms of real estate whenever we close a deal. So the beautiful part about, being a real estate agent on YouTube compared to other people that are on YouTube is a lot of other people on YouTube are relying on YouTube AdSense to get paid. We get paid in commission, which is pretty incredible. So even if you don't get many views, as long as you get a couple of people reaching out using this strategy, and what I'm about to share next, that's when you're going to start to get incredible results. So now let's look at tips for success. So the first tip for success is the most important one, which is understanding how to actually optimize your videos. And again, if you comment below, I'll send you my free training, which actually shows you visually perfectly how to optimize your videos, showing you an exact local video in my market, all their tags, all their descriptions, everything, which is you've got tags, titles, descriptions, and thumbnail. These are the 4 key components to optimizing YouTube video. Now, to give you a couple best practices in terms of tips of success, for thumbnails, look at my thumbnails. Go to my YouTube channel, hopefully you subscribe again, and look at the fact that my thumbnails are branded towards my branding. There's a photo of me, they're big, they're bold, and the text is easily legible, even on a mobile phone. And that's very key because a lot of people use Canva to design it, which is fine for free, but then they use this tiny text or text that blends in with the background. You wanna make sure it contrasts so it actually pops. So again, if we're talking about best practices, I just told you a thumbnail. So description, you want to make sure it's got your contact information. You also want to make sure that it's got playlists embedded into it with maybe some of your best performing videos or recommended videos. And you want to make sure that, again, you include a lot of keywords to optimize it based on the tags. So your tags and your titles are where things start. With your titles, you want to be literal, right? A lot of people try and get way too creative with their titles, thinking that it's going to be like clickbaity or something. It doesn't work. You want to tell YouTube exactly what your video is about so that people actually know what they're clicking on. It's like trying to decide on a movie. So what you want to do here is when you're looking at your titles, if you're talking about moving to Dallas, 5 things you need to know, you don't want to just put thinking of coming to Dallas with a question mark as your title. Even though it sounds clickbaity and creative, it's not going to work because, again, YouTube, based on being owned by Google, is an SEO platform. You need to make it searchable, right? So you want to do it SEO and make it very literal based on what people would actually be typing into Google or YouTube to find your video. So what you want to do with the tags is you want to think of how many different ways could people be typing into Google or YouTube your title in various different ways. So you could type in, Dallas real estate agent, moving to Dallas, moving to Dallas, Texas, and just think about the different ways where you're almost like repurposing the title in order to, again, captivate people that might not be typing exactly what your title is, but we'll still find your video. So now let's look at number 2. And this is really, really important. So we've got watch time, we've got click-through rate, we've got post-launch velocity, and then we've got return. Okay, so let's break down watch time to show you exactly what you need to do in order to increase watch time, because if your watch time is over 50%, YouTube is more likely to promote your video. So when you're looking at increasing watch time, there's a couple things you can do. The first thing is you, again, want to follow a simple blueprint. Hook in the first 30 seconds with a call to action, explain to people in the first minute exactly what they're going to get out of your video, do the body of your video, and then have an outro with, again, another call to action. Now, you want to make your video as short as it needs to be in order to get the point across of what your video is, so that people can actually, get what they want from your video and not have to go look elsewhere. A lot of people say, well, Mike, how long should my video be? Short. Do not make long videos if they don't need to be long. If they do, great. But again, you don't want to be going on tangents. You don't want to be going on stories. You want to get to the point, because if people watch over 50% of your videos, they're more likely, in terms of YouTube, is more likely to promote your video. So again, just looking at, you want 50% plus watch time. Now, click-through rate. How do you increase your click-through rate? Which is, again, if you don't know what that is how many people are deciding to click on your video versus the other videos that show up on people's feed. Again, that goes back to here. When you want to increase your click-through rate, what you want to do is make sure that you've got big, bold thumbnails with text that's easily readable. The text should be different than the text in your title. You should be in the thumbnail, which is not, not only for click-through rate, but also for personal branding. And again, you want to make sure that it is bold and aligns with your video as well. Now, post-launch velocity, how do you increase post-launch velocity? The best way to do this is actually to use your database. So if you are watching my YouTube channel and you're on my database, you'll know that every time I put a new video, I send it to my database and say, hey, here's a new video, check it out, if you think it's going to be value to you. So the same thing you can do with your clients is if you start to put out YouTube content related to your local market, what you should be doing is, again, every time you put out a new video, send it to your Sphere, your database. And what post-launch velocity is how many people watch your video in the first 24 hours. The higher the views in the first 24 hours, the more likely it's going to promote it. So the last one is return. And this is an interesting one because this is more recent. And what it's saying is how many people are not just watching that one video, but then returning to your channel. So the best way to increase the return of people watching your videos is in your description. What you want to do is you want to include playlists. You want to include recommended videos. And then in your video, you want to have end screens and cards. So what this does is whenever people come and watch one of your videos, they're not just watching one of them bouncing and never coming back again. They're actually continuing to watch your channel. And that is going to make sure that you get more viewers, more subscribers, more engagement, and ultimately more clients to close more deals with you. So hopefully that gives you a very clear example of what you need to do in order to get success on YouTube and get more clients from the views that you're getting. Because this, again, has helped agents do over $50 million in my group at EXP within their first year, entirely for free from YouTube. No ad spend, no marketing, no prospecting, nothing, just from following these strategies. So if you have any other questions, drop a comment below. And again, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you next time.